Did you know I sold my iPad?
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd
I
you
sold
get?
it to a middle-aged man.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you get for it? Hand job?
Yeah, actually. Hum job, actually. If you want to be specific.
Hello, friends. Welcome to User Friendly. My name is Roberto. I am the owner of Throwboy.
My name is Erfan Elijah, and I guess you're done talking. I am the founder of MikeTees.com and a contributing writer for Cultamac.com.
Yes.
I can keep going with titles.
Well, we're here for a podcast.
Okay, let's just do the
just
podcast
tone
instead.
it down. So yeah, User Friendly is a weekly podcast about geeky topics and internet culture subjects and stuff like that.
And all of our favorite stuff from the web.
And we are here again to talk about said things. So how are you today?
I'm well. We both have Comic-Con coming up this weekend.
I'm just
so we've both
stressing
been
out, dude.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot more work than me because you have to actually hand make everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just order everything, but I have to wait for it to come, and none of it's here yet. So I'm a little worried, but
Yeah, I've been just every day just scrambling. Have so much stuff to do. Like you said, I have to make the bunch of pillows. I have to anticipate what I think will be popular. I just got stickers made, which is nice because I wanted to have some extra stuff at the booth. I got buttons made.
I wish I'd gotten buttons made. That was the one thing I really wanted to do that I didn't do.
I actually totally winged it because I found out there was a place in Seattle that rents the button maker, and I already had the sheets. At one point, I made them myself, so we already had like a sheet of paper with them like already laid out, so we could easily make them.
So do you just print them and then?
Yeah, you can print them anywhere. You can print them on your home printer. It doesn't matter.
And you just print a little circle thing, and then you just.
And then they give you a little cutter, and it punches it out.
Really?
It's really not too hard, but so I had Skylar do it, and she like loved it because I've done it a million times, so I don't think it's fun anymore. So
yeah, I've never done it before.
So it was like Mark Twain, like, oh, it's really fun. You want to do it, you know? So what is it? Tom Sawyer? Is that the story?
I have no
Tom
idea.
Sawyer. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I was just going with it because I had no idea what you were talking about.
You know, Tom Sawyer painting the fence.
Oh yeah, I read that book in 6th grade. I remember it perfectly.
That's like a normal thing to say.
Yeah, completely normal.
But anyway, so I got pins, I got some other stuff. But
So how many pillows have you made so far?
Pillows. I don't know. My
Like
seamstress
100, like
has-
200?
I think that's probably like the goal. Like if we can get that many, you know. But we've done like stuff really fast in the past, with a couple days time. So it's not like unusual for me to do this, but still it's stressful, like getting all that stuff ready. We're gonna have to do our booth, which is gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Which is gonna be awesome, but that's the thing that stresses me out because like we're both doing booth planning right now. We have like mock-ups. I have a mock-up in my basement, and you never really know how it's gonna turn out because like cons are always kind of up in the air. Like you don't really know what you're getting until you get there.
Yeah.
And you're never really sure exactly where your booth's gonna be, although we do this time.
And we don't know if like the guy next to us has a huge thing that blocks us or anything like that,
So last year we went to Phoenix Comic-Con, and this freaking dude next to us.
Oh my God.
There's barriers between each booth, and
Yeah.
he was hanging stuff on our side of the booth. And he kept moving the barrier into our space.
like
so
his
he had more
posters
space.
were in our booth.
And he was like, hey, is this okay with you guys? I'm just gonna leave that stuff there. And I was like, no, it's not okay. You're in our booth. Move your crap.
Yeah.
So I moved his stuff back, and he kept moving it back into our space, thinking it was totally cool. So we keep getting problems like that. So you just never really know, like how your booth's gonna be laid out, and if you're gonna have some chubby comic book salesman trying to encroach in your space.
Luckily, we're on a corner because that was awful. We were just like in the sea of bullshit.
Yeah. Bullshit. That's pretty much exactly how it was.
But except for the people next to us, the other guy was a dick.
Yeah, because we had those
Because
girls
we had
next
the
to us,
really
right?
nice girls next to us.
Right.
That had a lot of different cool handmade stuff. But anyway, Comic-Con. We'll do probably some sort of show for Comic-Con. And sorry about that. And I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but we're gonna bring the camera.
We'll do something because Comic-Con is awesome. Like if you've never been,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of fun. I think my favorite part is probably the cosplay. like people get so into their costumes, and you'll see like Ghostbusters walking around. You'll see at least 100 Boba Fett's walking around.
Some not so hot Princess Leia's.
they're always not so hot Princess Leia's. That should be the title of the costume.
Yes.
Yeah, why is it the girls that always dress like Princess Leia?
Slave Leia.
Slave Leia?
Yeah.
Should be dressed more like
Jabba the Hutt.
Like Jabba the Hutt. It's like a lot of times, like if you put her middle bikini on Jabba the Hutt and had him walking around.
That's what you should cosplay as this year.
That's more what it's like. Hey, I know there's some big girls out there who are proud of their bodies, and I think that's fantastic. But I just find it curious that why those are the girls that always find it necessary to dress like Leia.
Well, yeah. So next week maybe we'll have I don't know. What are we on? Episode 10, 9?
Oh, this is episode 12.
No, it's not.
It's episode 15.
No, it's not. We're on episode like 9, right?
Yeah, episode 9.
We could have a 9.5 episode or something.
9.5.
Like yeah.
Or we can just kind of cut it into the next episode. We'll do something.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. We want to give you guys like a glimpse of what it's like to be.
It's only once a year, so might as well, right?
Yeah, totally. So
I had a follow-up story. We just wanted to recap Comic-Con, but I had a follow-up story because we were talking 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago about this new app, and it kind of like went crazy right around that same time. It was getting some big traction. Draw Something for the iOS, and which just got acquired by Zynga, the makers of Farmville and other mobile games.
Right. So OMG Pop, popular online gaming site, right? So they have a website, omgpop.com.
Right.
And they came out with Draw Something, and they released it, and within 8 weeks, they were the top app in iTunes.
And very popular. Like, I remember when I got it, and it was like, you could connect it to your Facebook, and it was really sparse. It was like, oh, they have it. All these people don't. Then that person has it. Now it's like all of my freaking friends on Facebook.
I was surprised too. In fact, I just installed it recently, and I was like looking through my friends, and it was like all these people were on this list, and I was like, I wonder if it's just showing me everyone on my Facebook, or if these people actually use this game, because there were so many people.
Yeah, more than anything I've ever seen as far as a game goes.
Me too. So I just started playing it, and I gotta say, I can see why they just got acquired for $200 million.
Yeah,
because it's super fun.
It's very fun.
It's totally novel.
It's totally it's like you don't have to be good at like what you're doing. You know, it's almost like a lot of these games you'll get just like a board game, like everybody can play, you know, rather than like you have to be good at like this game, or you have to be good at puzzles, or you have to be good at words. Like Words with Friends is not fun for everybody.
Yeah, totally.
You know? And Draw Something, I mean, it's just Pictionary, so you just pick it up and play.
Yeah, you could literally be a monkey and play that game.
And I like how it's also everybody's sort of on the same playing field because of the fact that you're drawing with like your finger, you know?
Right.
So not everyone's gonna be good, but it's awesome to see the really good art that people are posting. Have you seen that? Like, I have a friend
seen some of it,
that posts like really detailed stuff, but at the same time, he says that he looks up on the internet what he wants to draw, and then he goes crazy and draws like this crazy elaborate picture. But anyway, what do you think about this being acquired by Zynga?
I thought it was I mean, it wasn't just that game; it was the whole company, OMG Pop.
That's insane to me, because they were really popular as far as like a couple years ago. They were really popular kids wise, loved going to omgpop.com. But I had heard that they have released like 9 iOS games, and none of them like took off until this one.
This was really the big one, and they were making $250,000 a day. They probably still are.
Yeah,
that was after Apple's cut. They're making $250,000 a day on this app. Isn't that insane?
And that's with people buying the non-free version and people like doing.
I think so,
because there's no in-game purchases.
There are.
To do what?
You can buy coins.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if you ever try to draw, so you could draw in black and white, or black on a white screen.
Yeah.
And then if you like,
color.
Yeah, if you want color, they charge you for different colors. And I was like, this is dumb. I'm not going to pay you for blue.
Well, most of the time you can earn enough coins.
You can earn the coins, yeah.
And that's what I've done.
Yeah. So I wonder how many people actually buy stuff in that game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do a lot of gaming, so I don't know about in-game. I don't know firsthand about buying stuff in games.
I never buy stuff in games. I hate buying stuff in games.
Like in your Xbox games and stuff.
No, actually, that's the only case in which I buy stuff because I feel like those games are actually worth money. But like, I'm not gonna pay you for the blue color, and I'm not gonna pay you for the yellow color.
I'm sorry, Irfan, what are you paying for? Like a better gun?
Yeah, I'll pay you for more levels or more weapons. That I will pay you for.
I won't pay for blue, but I will pay you for a Master Chief blue outfit.
No, that I won't do. I don't pay for digital outfits and all that stuff. When I see people do it, I'm like, why would you do that? Don't pay for that. But I will pay for levels. Yeah,
in the
somebody's definitely doing it,
sure.
And I know that only a small percentage of people actually buy goods in game like that. But those people who do it, buy enough to make $250,000 a day.
Yeah,
dude, I gotta say, my favorite story, draw something story. I saw this guy who had played this game and he was like, I always tried to make my pictures as obscene as possible at the very last moment. So he was trying to draw like wrestling and like the picture's progressing and it's like a white guy like screaming and there's a big black guy behind him like right up on his butt. And you're like, what is this? And then the very last moment, the wrestling mat, like the ref come in, and you're like, oh, wrestling. And he would do that in all his pictures, and I was like, that guy's a genius. The picture was so funny. I wish I had thought of it earlier. I would have brought it up.
If you go to Tumblr,
yeah,
and just search draw something, maybe just as one word,
yeah,
and you'll for sure find a bunch of cool stuff. Ooh, yeah, new terms of service on Tumblr.
I accept your terms of service.
I'm sure all the kids read them. That one.
Yeah. So explore Tumblr?
Search.
Oh.
Draw something.
Oh, I didn't even know you could do this. Something.
And go down. I mean, those are pretty good, but like, keep going. Oh, that's good. That's Golden
This is great.
Oh, Florida.
Huh?
It says Florida. That's the thing.
You were drawing Florida? This person was drawing Florida. Thank you for being a friend. The state they're from. That's really funny. Dude, that was really good. Dude, I already agreed to this.
I think you hit back.
Yeah, but why is it asking me again?
I don't know.
You must agree every time.
Every time you go to a different page.
Tumblr's new policy is that every time you go there, you have to accept their terms of service.
Look at that KFC. That's freaky. That looks like Mr. Miyagi.
Dude, that's so racist. Because he's yellow.
No, he has eyes like that.
Oh, dude, I can't believe you said that. Dude, that looks like the Asian KFC guy. Colonel Sanders' son.
So yeah, people have gotten pretty.
Which, by the way,
which is cool.
Totally off topic. I watched both the Karate Kids in the last 2 weeks. They hold up.
Oh yeah.
They hold up. That relationship between Daniel and Mr. Miyagi
it still penetrates the heart.
It's good, man. It's good.
Wow.
Oh, I thought this was it.
Crazy.
Dude, yeah. Dude, check this out. I can't imagine that.
That's definitely I have an iPad.
Yeah, totally. I just can't believe that people can do art this good.
Dude, I have somebody that I played. Actually, the girl that drew the last Throwboy card for us. She's really good. Like she'll do it in layers. She is really good. Like she'll like start with layers and like go over it with, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, she is really talented.
So, anyways,
draw something.
Acquired. I'm interested to see what happens. Hopefully, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't like the idea that Zynga is gonna be like we're gonna be mobile gaming and we're gonna swallow up every single other person that even tries to be in the top. You know, like.
I love that this has become a meme now.
That's Pig.
Look at that. Yeah. Oh, is that Pig? Is that
yeah.
That's so funny. Dude, that's so good.
Yeah, that's See, the bad thing about that, though, is that at that point, you're not even really playing the game. You're just like, oh my god, get on with it. Please, I just want to skip to the next person.
You're like, how much time did you... No wonder it took you 2 weeks to take your turn.
Yeah.
Just make a simple stick figure, dude.
A cornhole.
Dude!
But yeah, you can
Wow.
find a lot of cool drawings if you go to Tumblr and just search draw something. People are insane. What is that one? Luke?
Okay, last one, I promise. This is terribly awesome. I want to print some of these and hang them on my wall. Lee's got the little arrow pointing to Luke.
Yeah.
That's
a green
so funny.
arrow.
I'm such a bad drawer.
So, anyways,
Hey, if
I'm Throwboy on Draw Something.
I was just gonna say,
if you
are
wanna
you?
play me.
And I think I'm just airfalling. I don't remember choosing a username.
I think I had to go in and do that manually.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be ERFON. I can imagine it's taken. It never is.
But yeah,
Let's move on.
what's our next story?
Oh, as per usual, we gotta work in at least one Steve Jobs story. So you were telling me about an article that you read about Steve Jobs and how he didn't like the name of Siri.
Yeah, he didn't like the name Siri, and I think that you kind of read it more than I did.
Yeah,
But
I did.
So maybe you can recap it.
Sure.
for us.
So I'll just kind of sum up the article. So basically, there's this meeting in Chicago where startups come and talk about what they're working on, and this dude who was co-founder of Siri, his name's Dag Katayaus. I love that name, Dag Nabbit. I wish that was his last name. Dag Nabbit. He was there talking, and one of the stories that he relayed was about how Steve Jobs didn't actually like the name of Siri, but he couldn't come up with a better name, so he decided to go with it. But I thought there was a few interesting things about the Siri name. So first of all, Siri was based on a play, or was a play on the name SRI International, which was the company that was working with the military who helped build this technology. So Siri's kind of like a play on that.
Mm.
And Siri in Norwegian means a beautiful woman who leads you to victory. It's a good solid name.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and oh wow. I worked with a lady named Siri in Norway and wanted to name my daughter Siri, and the domain was available. Huh? Interesting. That's why they chose it.
That's the CEO's like reason for wanting that name.
I guess so.
bad.
Yeah.
Because I guess he was still pushing Steve like you should use this name.
Yeah. So, Steve Jobs was at Dag's house, Dag Katayaus, and they were talking about Siri. And Dag kept pushing Steve to keep the Siri name, even though Steve didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And then Steve decided to keep it, even though he didn't like it, because he couldn't think of anything better. And they're saying that similar stories have come up with the naming of the iMac, the iPad, and then both products were obviously hugely successful, and the names actually grew on Steve. And I think what was interesting about this is the fact that, like, in my mind, like, Steve Jobs would always get his way, right? Like, there would be no, I don't like this, we're just going to go with it anyway. Like, I always kind of thought that he was like, I don't like this, you need to change it, and until it's changed, we're not releasing this product.
Maybe we hear more of that story because that's the better story than Steve just let this part slide and it worked out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
wouldn't Steve rather take credit for saying, I thought of that and I was the one that told everyone we needed to do it that way?
Well, you hear those stories, right?
Because he's the guy that's famous for maybe not doing all the work, but showing up for the picture.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he definitely, like, that's for sure his Pixar role, you know?
Yeah. You think so? You think that's all he did for Pixar?
As far as I've read, yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think he helped pick any of the staff or anything like that? I mean,
Pixar was already being like self-sufficient before Steve even got in there.
Wow.
All the key people were there.
He just came in and handed them the check.
You should read the Second Coming of Steve Jobs. It's like all anecdotes and stories from people that worked with him and worked around him.
Interesting.
It's really good. But anyway, what were you gonna say about this?
Oh,
the naming stuff.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say it is interesting because like you hear these stories about Steve about how megalomaniacal he was, and it's like that story about the original Google Maps app, I think, on the original iPhone.
Oh,
and
right,
he
yeah.
calls like this developer on a Sunday evening, and he like leaves a message that says it's urgent, and the guy gets the message while he's in church, so he calls him back later, and he's like, "What's going on?" And Steve's like, Well, I noticed that this pixel was the wrong shade.
Like shade of yellow or something.
Yeah, and he's like, okay.
So you need to get a guy on that. Oh, no, he's like, we got a guy on it.
We got a guy on it. We're already fixing it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, great. Thanks for calling me on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's like you hear those stories, and then to hear like it's like the Siri name stuck. And actually, when Siri came out, I was surprised. 'Cause I was like, this isn't an Apple move.
Yeah.
Like they don't keep you don't buy a company and keep its name.
Sometimes like CoverFlow was a already
Was that
established
really?
product that they used.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, I thought it was weird too. I was like, oh, I wonder why they didn't call it like Assistant or something. Very.
Well, that's
standard,
the name everyone thought they were going to call it, right?
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I've heard many Steve Jobs stories. Even famously, the Macintosh. He didn't like that name. That name was started by the guy that originally started the Macintosh project before it was an actual computer, Jeff Raskin. He wanted to call it Macintosh after his favorite Apple, and that was the name he chose. But then as it kept going, then Steve's like, no, that's our code name. We're not going to use that name, and he wanted to call it Bicycle at one point. He wanted to call it Bicycle because it's like the bicycle for your mind. And
whoa, yeah. That is not cool at all.
Yeah, so like Steve has definitely had like even at his memorial when Johnny Ive was saying, he's like, Steve will come up with like really bonehead ideas once in a while, but one of them is like awesome, like, and he'll throw them out though. He'll say them, but
he was just like fearlessly creative.
Right? Yeah, he doesn't know if it's gonna work, but I mean, at least let's try it, right? But yeah, and then I guess the iMac was the same way because the iMac was developed before he got there, and I guess the iPad is, from what I heard or for what I just saw there, but
he didn't like that either.
But
what's interesting? The idea of being fearlessly creative, and I was just listening to an NPR report about this, and they were talking about the company 3M, who is like really super creative, and how they help their employees facilitate that creative process. And it's a really interesting idea. I mean, one of the things that 3M does is they give their employees an hour each day to do whatever they want. Whatever they want. Whatever helps them be more creative. They could go take a nap on the couch. They can take a walk around the campus. The only requirement is that they have to share how they're helping facilitate their creativity with their fellow employees. And that's helped them become like a super creative company.
Wow.
And it's like, it's an interesting concept because, like sometimes you'll be doing something and you'll have this great idea, and it's like as soon as you have it, you're like, wow, that's a really good idea. And if you would have had to do that in like a brainstorming session and come up with those ideas, like it would have been a lot harder because you're afraid of that criticism or what people are going to say to you.
Sure. And some people are much more, and famously creative. They're more introverted, and that's how they come up with their stuff, being alone. Not like, hey, let's all work together.
Yeah.
Because nowadays everyone's encouraged to work as teams. I was listening to something. There was a TED Talk, and they were saying like even in school, they don't want to encourage kids to like be alone and work on their own stuff. Everybody and even when we were in an elementary school, we had like pods, and they were all like everybody was facing each other instead of like being on your own in your own desk. So yeah, and I'm more of an introverted person. I definitely get a lot of my ideas like pacing around my apartment and learn and thinking about like trying to come up with stuff.
I did too, and that was kind of the point of this piece I was listening to. Is they're like brainstorming sessions don't work because everyone, even though they say they're not afraid, like they're worried that their ideas are going to be struck down, and they're saying that like creativity is very meek. Like if there's any like chance of criticism, like people just aren't willing to get into that creative mindset.
Yeah.
Or like you actually are more creative if you start off the meeting by saying your criticism is welcome. And it's okay.
Yeah.
And you can argue with each other all you want because then it's like, oh well, like it's okay if I say something that you don't like because I can still defend it, right?
Sure. And I mean, at Apple they would say they had a lot of debates, and it wasn't really like Steve wins. It's like the best idea wins, but maybe Steve's iteration of some of those ideas where things But yeah, I mean, if somebody has a really good idea, they said that they would run more like a startup, not like with committees, like where they have to, everything has to get freaking, what do they call it? Tested, focus grouped and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like they didn't do that, So
one of the things they were saying also in this piece was that oftentimes the problems that businesses are trying to solve are solved by people outside the business, or it's like just like in any situation, you know, like you can come in to a situation and everyone's trying to solve this problem. And you're like, oh, well, all you need to do is X, Y, Z, and you see it very clearly because like you're not involved, you're not steeped in all the like relationships and everything that are happening there and the status quo of the situation. Like you're able to just be like, here's what should happen. I don't care if it hurts anyone's feelings. It's like, here's what you should do.
I often ask other people opinions about like, okay, if you took over what I'm doing, what would you do? You know, like how would you do that better than me? And I mean, granted, I have to ask people that are like more businessy kind of people usually, but I mean, it's good to get an outsider's opinion because you're so invested in it, you know?
Yeah. And it's an interesting dichotomy, isn't it? Because like you feel like because you're doing it, you should be able to have these thoughts, and it's so easy when you're looking at somebody else's thing to do that. So you feel like it should be easy when you're doing it for your own thing because they're like it's so easy to do for everybody else, but it's not. It's like when you're doing it for yourself, all of a sudden it's like it becomes very confusing because of all these influences you have on yourself. What the heck just loaded on my screen? Is this like a pop-up or something?
You're on some healthy...
Lifescript.com. Healthy living for women. I have no idea how my browser just got here.
It's like your gesture to get there.
Anyway, I was really fascinated by this because it's very applicable to Apple. I mean, they're obviously very innovative.
Yeah.
And nurturing that creativity is something that seems like it should be easy, and it's incredibly difficult to do. One of my favorite authors, Seth Godin, has a ton of good ideas, and he says things that are very intelligent and seem very wise. And one of the people that follow him was like, how do you come up with all these great things? He's like, just like Steve, he's like, for the one great thing that you've heard me say, he's like, there's been 1,000 things that I've said that are just total bonehead ideas. He's like, but you have to be willing just to kind of like let those go.
Yeah, it's true.
In any case,
when you think of an idea, are you usually kind of guarded with it? Like you want to make it into a thing before you actually show the world? Because I'm more like that. You know, like I'm like, it's not fully baked yet. No one's gonna get this yet. They need to see the end result. So maybe I should shut up about it for a while until I do it.
I'm the same way, especially because I feel like there's certain people in your life who are just cynical. It's like no matter what you do, they're gonna tell you why it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And so I don't want the meekness of my creativity to rule, right? So it's like I don't want to be like, oh, I don't want it to change my opinion of what I'm thinking. So yeah, for that reason, I often just keep it to myself. And plus, dude, like you ask people something sometimes, and everyone says it's a bad idea, but in the end, you're right. You know, so you just kind of, as Steve Jobs says, you got to follow your gut instinct sometimes, and it will lead you to the path less traveled. You just got to trust yourself, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Sure, but at least you went for it.
But at least you went for it, right? Because otherwise, if you get paralyzed by analysis, it's like you'll never do anything. Well, hey, let's wrap up with this last thing. You had an app you wanted me to install.
Yes.
It's called VRS.exe. Should I just double click it?
That reminds me of another. There's this URL shortener called. God, I don't remember what it's called, but it like shortens your URLs and like Bitly would do. But it always makes them sound really shitty, like really shady. So it'll be like /virus dot like porn / it's really funny. God, I have to find it. Anyway.
Okay, so I've downloaded this app called Boom.
Yes.
So what does Boom do?
So, okay. When I had, I think it was the old white MacBook. I was always annoyed that the volume on that thing was just atrocious. Like I could never hear anything.
I have the same problem on this
the MacBook Pro.
MacBook Pro,
and just like notoriously the Macs don't have great speakers, whatever. But one day I was just like, this is crap. I do audio. I know for a fact that you could at least boost the signal in a way that's not going to blow out your speakers.
Yeah.
And so I hunted around and I tweeted and I was like, does anybody know, does this sort of thing exist? Finally, I found something called Boom, and if you just Google Boom app, you'll find it. But it's made by, who is it made by again?
It's made by Global Delight, globaldelight.com.
globaldelight.com/boom.
Never heard of them.
It's an app that it works on Mac OS X and it allows you to boost your volume. So it's really cool. It gives you kind of different parameters to mess with, but if you don't want to mess with any of that, you can literally just you have a new volume knob right in your menu, and you can turn it up, and it doesn't distort. I use it I used to use it all the time, but I'm getting.
See, that would be the big thing, right?
I'm getting a new Mac, so then I'm gonna start using it again.
Like, you want it to be louder, but you don't want it to be louder and crappier. It's like it needs to be louder and better, because that's one of the reasons why I just assume you can never turn up the volume, because I was like, oh, your speakers probably can't handle it.
Why don't we try? Here,
Okay,
go
so
ahead and install it.
Okay, so I'm dragging it to the applications folder.
And then it's gonna have this little intro that I wanted the audience to see.
Copying Boom to applications. Somebody's texting me. Apparently it's you.
Whoa.
No, it's not. It's Ruth.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see here.
Open that one up, and
it's opening. Okay, it's copied.
I had a lot of I don't know. I liked it a lot when I started to use it. So you might want to show that to the.
Okay.
I believe it shows some sort of intro deal.
Okay. I'm coming, guys. I'm coming. Gosh.
Watch your glass.
This isn't as easy as it looks. Okay. So I'm going over to agree, using the trackpad with my thumb.
You need a hand?
Oh, that's a really ugly graphic. Hey, welcome to Boom. Click to install.
That looked like you.
That kind of did look like me. Do you like clip art from the 1980s? You're gonna love Boom. Oh, hold on.
All right.
I'm not giving you guys the password.
That's all, and then let's try it out. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
We can go.
Cool little animation that you wanted everyone to see.
Yeah, it gets you into the mood.
I'm in a mood for audio now. That's for sure.
Okay.
Now I'm in the mood for great audio. Let's do this. Okay, it's done.
Do you have a movie or something? Let's go to.
Trial. Hold your horses. There, Tom Sawyer. I actually don't have a movie, but we could boot up a YouTube video.
Cool. So
let's watch.
Go there first and turn it off.
Okay. Oh, is it on right now?
Or leave it there. That's actually normal volume right now.
Okay.
This is like you're up to the full amount of volume.
Oh, okay. So it works independently of your max volume. So you can turn your Mac volume.
You can turn your Mac volume up. You can
up and down.
You can even leave that high. Like you can leave Boom up like mid range and then just use.
So it just kind of acts like a digital gain then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
let's do this. Let's just do this guitar video.
Fine.
Learn Jimi Hendrix wah pedal inspired song licks guitar lesson.
We won't get sued for that. Okay, this is full volume on the Mac?
This is full volume on the Mac.
Okay, turn up. This might be pretty loud because it's a guitar, electric guitar.
Whoa.
But this is supposed to sound like distorted.
Hi, this is Paul Ross for NextLevelGuitar.com. We are continuing on in our Inspired by series.
So your normal
Today
volume level, go back to it.
How do I go back to it?
Like right about a little bit lower.
We're going to be using some effects.
So this is your full gained volume?
Yeah.
And then now how... Okay.
My computer does not get very loud at all.
Let's not talk.
One inspired by riff. And see what you think. So I'd like to tell you, if you would like a free video lesson with the corresponding ebook, just click on that link below.
I want to hear some more Jimi Hendrix.
We will send you the free video lesson. With
dude, I got a video. I got a video.
Level guitar.
Do you know who Yngwie Malmsteen is? Mm-hmm. You don't know? I'm surprised you don't know this. All right. Yngwie Malmsteen, 80s rock guitar god. He still looks exactly the same today as he did in the 80s and 90s. One of the fastest guitar players alive. So let's listen to some Yngwie, and he's just, if I had to use one word to describe him, shred-tacular.
Okay.
This guy can shred like no other.
You're trying to make your speakers sound like they're distorted.
Okay, so normal volume here. Okay, so my Mac is on full volume now. Okay, stop showing me ads.
That's pretty loud, though.
It is pretty loud, and it's probably because this video is kind of loud already.
Yeah.
All right, let's fast forward. Yeah, I'm turning it up.
Oh god, it's gonna be so distorted.
Hello there, I'm Yngve Malmsteen. Welcome to my video. We'll have some
Look at this guy.
We're gonna do some different things, a little
Oh,
different
you
from
just turned it
previous
down.
videos that I've done.
Actually, I'm so impressed. It wasn't distorting.
Not so much.
It's not distorting, and that was kind of my big thing, my big worry. I was like, yeah, it's gonna distort the crap out of the audio.
Like you were putting it on
If you do want to
a
play
distorted guitar, and it's not
This is a
distorting
tune,
anymore.
a tune to E flat.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta show you guys this. Look at this guy. Let's see it, Yngve. Let's see it. Oh, dude.
It's backfired on you, man.
Do it! Oh, pleasure. Pleasure face. Oh! Dude, I love shredding like that.
All right.
I'm such a huge fan of the style. You know, I did kind of notice it clipping at the top. It was kind of getting a little distorted, but that was super loud. I mean...
And see, the most of the time that I use it is going to be like Netflix that has really shit volume, or like certain videos that you'll watch on YouTube that have really low volume anyway.
That's true.
You know, and maybe you're in a place that maybe like, I don't know, you live next to a street that has cars going by all the time.
Buses constantly.
But I like it a lot.
So it's $5 to buy. You get a free 7-day trial, and just go to what is it? globaldelight.com.
Cool.
If you want to check it out. Dude, that's it.
That's it.
This time next week, we will have already been done with Comic-Con.
And we'll have episode 10 from Comic-Con.
Episode 10.
That's what we're going to do.
Partly live from Comic-Con. If you guys are in the Seattle area and are going to Comic-Con, make sure you stop by the Might Tees Throwboy booth.
Emerald City Comic-Con.
Emerald City Comic-Con, specifically. We will be at the Seattle Convention Center all weekend long.
Washington State Convention Center.
Okay, sorry.
So,
He's one of those guys.
if anyone wants to find more about you
troll.
and your wrong
It's
things,
Washington State Convention Center.
where can they find you
Lols.
online?
Twitter, @Erfon, ERFON. And if you're interested in Might Tees, MIGHTTEES. I just want to say real quickly, I was telling you earlier, we just got an order from someone super high up at Bad Robot, the production company that made the new Star Trek and Alias and all these other cool shows. And I was so excited. I know it's stupid to get excited about that, but anytime I get an order like that from someone who I actually recognize, I'm like, whoa, that's cool. So I sent him an email thanking him. But if we want to learn more about Throwboy,
Throwboy.com. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm my full name, Roberto Hoyos, ROBERTOHOYOS, and @Throwboy on Twitter. And you can subscribe to the User-Friendly on your local iTunes
or go to userfriendlyshow.com
section, and you can watch a show there too. And YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube, please.
Yes, please.
We put everything on there too. So, that's it, man. Episode 9. We will see you next week.
All right, take care.